Hey everybody, and welcome to your 30-day meditation challenge. I didn't really want to use the word challenge because challenge means that it's going to be difficult and that there's going to be force of some kind, and really that's the opposite. But challenge is something that looks good when I'm trying to promote it, so I hope it worked. Well, where shall we begin? We've made it to start with. If you're joining me for the month of February, then that's awesome because we're getting to do this together. If you're joining at another time, then that's also awesome, whatever serves you. So right now I'm going to go through some questions that people have asked me about meditation and really the reasons that they move away from it, because there's this unknown element that can scare people off, that it's going to be difficult, that they can't meditate, that their mind is so busy that they just can't sit. And I'm going to try to dissolve some of them fears now to allow you to move through this next 30 days with curiosity and excitement to see what unfolds, because this is your journey and it's going to be different for every single person. There are going to be practices that you really resonate with. There are going to be practices that you don't. Some of you might even hate my voice by the end of this. And all I can say is you can use that as a meditation practice as well. But it's not about triggering you. I want to move gently with this practice. That's why I have started off with 5 minutes and we build into 30 to 40 minutes by the end. And my reason for this is that if you go into anything without preparation, it can disturb the body and disturb the mind. It's a bit like if you were training for a marathon or you've just started running, you wouldn't go out straight away and say you've never ran before, you wouldn't go out and run 10K and then hope that some part of you enjoys it and that will keep doing it. You do a run to work program and you would embrace every day knowing that every day is going to be different. And it's the same when we decide we want to change our diet. We decide we want to take away some things and introduce some things. If you do everything at once, it can seem really, really difficult. But if you do things gradually and be kind to yourself, then the journey can be quite enjoyable and it turns into more of this self-love practice. So, we're getting ready for the marathon, right? We just need to start off nice and simple. There's a few things that I wanted to say. I haven't really rehearsed this, so I don't know what's going to come out. But for me, I have been back and forth within my own yoga practice to what I present to the world, what I create, what's coming from a desire and a need. And with this next 30 days, I want you to, no, I don't want you to, I would welcome you. You can do whatever you would like. Be gentle with whatever arises and share in the group, because there'll come a point with this journey. Well, it happened to me and I've heard it from a lot of people that I coach and mentor. At first, meditation can be really exciting. Actually, at first it can be really annoying. But then it can be exciting when you start to experience your body and you experience the world through all of your senses. Everything becomes open. Now, this is like the high. And then there can be a low where you're not experiencing that so much anymore. The buzz, the stimulation isn't there anymore. So people move away from it. So I just want to make you aware of that because it may happen. But just to know that the purpose of this month especially, but the purpose of bringing meditation into your life is so that you have more time and space to see what's real, to choose the things that serve your body and serve your mind, serve your family, serve your whole life, to recognize when the body is tired, to see what it needs, to open it up, to notice when the mind is busy or when it's dull, to notice when you're judging or you're being shameful, really just to observe. You can imagine every day we're faced with these thoughts and these sensations. So if we can make the space to breathe, to observe them, then we can choose to do what's right for ourselves. and for other people, and you'll also start to feel that there's no separation. And this journey is not linear. You'll have horizons, you'll have insights, they will come and they will go. You'll have good days, you'll have bad days. I really don't know what I'm doing with my fingers, but I think that's the right thing to do. And all it is your journey. You are on this adventure to see what unfolds without any expectations. And I can hear a little dog coming. Oh no, not today. And yeah, that's it. And we all have this feeling of a purpose, our life purpose. They call it Dharma. And I played around with this one, especially being a yoga teacher. I started off teaching in person, and I really loved that. And then having to go online, I kind of found myself lost in the social media aspect and felt like I was losing myself, my truth, I will say, because you look around and you compare yourself and you are shown what is the best way to do something, and you can lose that essence inside, that truth. So I kind of pushed it all away, and then I realized that my Dharma, I don't have a choice, is to share these teachings and these practices, not only for you, but for me. There's something inside that I can't stop. It's just like part of me. And for me, that means I need to understand a different aspect. For example, I need more knowledge in a certain area to be able to move my practices forward to share them if I'm about to go online, for example. But it might be something else for you. If you find yourself that you don't have any passion, that you don't really want to do anything, then there's a dullness there. And in yoga, they call this Thomistic energy, and it's a dull, heavy energy where we lose our passion for life, and it doesn't feel good. It feels just like that, like heavy and dull and depressed, and we can move away from doing things. The other side of that is this registic energy where it's very stormy, where we want to do every single thing and we don't know why, we're just doing it and throwing it out there. It can cause us to destroy things. It can cause us to do things that aren't in line with our truth. And then we can go back and forth between these two. So we destroy everything, and then we feel dull and depressed, and then we're drawn towards something that stimulates us, and maybe this is resonating. But the bit in the between, the sattvic energy, is this place where you're in harmony, where everything seems to just be flowing and you're enjoying life. You see the beauty in everything, no matter what you're doing, and everything seems to slow down, and you can see and you can breathe, and no matter what it is, no matter what emotion comes up, you can love it. You don't push it away. And once you learn this in yourself, you learn it with the people around you. Your love becomes unconditional. You don't push somebody away just because they are not in line with your idea of who they should be. But first, we have to start with ourselves. So I've said a lot there, I know. Okay, so how are we gonna do this for 30 days? How is this gonna happen? I would recommend that you get a notebook and pen, because a lot of things are gonna arise for you. And I would just write whenever feels good. Just write whenever you want, let it come out. Maybe you draw, maybe you're not a writer, maybe you speak, you do voice messages. Maybe you just share it with the community, but something where you're reflecting. And after every meditation, go back into it and see, how did that make me feel? Was there anything that was triggered inside of me? Was there anything that connected to me on a soul level that really opened up my heart? And know that some days are going to be different than others. So you might really resonate with a meditation one day, and it might be because your body and your mind is in a balanced state. The next day you might do the meditation and you really reject it. And it might be because there's an imbalance in the body or the mind. Or it might be you just don't connect with that meditation. So all these these practices that I will be sharing are just that. They are just tools, just like any single thing that we do. If we were doing movement practice, if we were cooking, if we were reading, if we were making love, they are all practices that we can use to let go of the mind and be completely present. And this is the question: what is left? What is there? What is remaining? What has been with us since we were conceived until the day we die? What is that? And you don't need to answer it now. You don't need to answer it ever, because you already know, which is the beauty of it. So I have some questions here that are being put forward. So I'm going to answer them, or try to, from my own perspective, obviously. So what is meditation? Okay, the big question. Meditation is about bringing yourself to a single point of focus, to be able to quieten the mind, because the mind is always running backwards and forwards. These practices are tools to calm the mind, and they could be anything, like I just mentioned before. It's being completely present with what is, and not trying to change something, not trying to, what was I looking for, the word? Just not trying to change anything, not trying to analyze everything, or, you know, make it a different way because you believe, you have ideas that this is the way it should be, this is the way it should be experienced. And that's for yourself and for other people that you meet. Because when we have judgments, we are saying that that person is not in line with our beliefs, and what we believe is the truth. So a belief is a belief. Your truth is beyond that, before the beliefs, before the judgment. And with all these practices, it's about finding the place where you feel you are watching, you are observing. And then what can come from that is something quite magical. We'll go on to that another time, because I don't want to plant any seeds. But you will see this unfolding for yourself, and however it unfolds is just how it should be for you. How will I find time? Yeah, we're super busy, right? Well, this is why I've done them short, to increase it in time, so you can dedicate this for you. And knowing that when you do your meditation practice, you are recharging your body, you are clearing your mind, so you naturally get more energy anyway. It also wakes you up to what serves you. So the things that you kept busy with before might be because you're avoiding an emotion or avoiding something that's uncomfortable for you. Whereas if you're doing your meditation practice and you're reflecting, you'll start to notice the things that serve you and the things that don't. So no longer do you feel drawn to distracting yourself and procrastinating. You'll be able to come back home and heal whatever's arising and see it for what is. Also, within meditation practices, the way you perceive the world will change. So the things that you thought were important might not be as important as you go along your journey. Okay, body position. We have to sit up like this, spine nice and straight, don't move for 2 hours. No, we don't have to do that. Although in yoga, this position here is the main position that we're all looking to get to in Hatha yoga, that's what they say. But we want a comfortable body. So if sitting like this is not comfortable for you, find a position that is. I have given some tips on seating position within the yoga teacher training section within the course. So you can see that there, just a little bit about hip alignment. And if you sit on a cushion, it will raise your hips higher, which will allow you to keep the length in the spine. One of the things I will say is to find a position where the spine can be long. So if you're noticing you're arching, you can think of this logically. You're crushing your organs, you're crushing your lungs, your chest. So it's going to be harder to breathe compared to if you open up, give your organs some chance to do their job and to move and allow energy and blood flow there. And also the same with anything. If you sit like this and your legs get dead and then it starts to bring you back, but with pain, oh, please, just change your position. You're not gonna get an award for sitting like this. So it might be that you sit on your shins with a pillow underneath your bum. You might lean back on a wall or a chair. You might sit in a chair with your feet flat on the ground. Maybe you need to be in bed. Maybe you're not so well in your body. You're really drained and you want to lie down. The only thing with this is you might fall asleep. So if you can elevate yourself and you still have some active muscles in your body, then this will keep you awake. And that's another thing as well that we'll go on to later about the times of the day which is going to be serving you with this. So if you have any questions, please let me know. And if there is discomfort in your body, know that we have all the classes within this subscription that you can tap into, and you can just message me and I will send you something. Okay, so restlessness. I can't meditate because I'm so restless, my mind is so busy. All right, I think you know what I'm gonna say with this one. That's a really good reason to start meditating. And also we can use that. So if your mind is busy, your thoughts can be your anchor. A thought, I'm coming back to my meditation. It might be frustrating in the beginning, but you will see with practice how big the gaps get between the thoughts and how your life is changing. And that will be an encouragement for you to keep coming back. So if the mind is really busy, this is the thing for you. And maybe it's not these practices, but there'll be something. Maybe it's singing, maybe it's dancing, maybe it's doing gardening, whatever it is, there will be something. And then we use the different practices as a way to maybe challenge ourselves sometimes, because if you find, I can get into meditation very, very easily and I don't have any thoughts coming up when I do a certain practice, but then you go out into the world and you fall asleep again, you start to be judgmental, you start to hurt yourself and people around you, and you really close off, then maybe we can go deeper into what's really happening there with a different type of practice. Okay, what's next? Am I doing it right? Yes, of course you are. You're always doing it right. There's no set way. And for everybody, the way that they experience it is going to be different. So if ever you find yourself asking the question, am I doing this right? Come back to your practice. Trust and see the unfolding. Drop them expectations and come back. Probably the most difficult thing, to be honest, because we expect that we're going to start meditation and then we are going to be fully awake, fully in harmony, fully in balance, and it doesn't work out like that sometimes. Sorry, I had a little ant attack there. So then we might come back to the thought, what's the point in doing this? Please find out for yourself. I can only say from my own experience, this has changed my life. I don't know where I would be if I had not gone on this journey. And sometimes it's been really dark. Sometimes I have questioned why I went down this journey when I start to see the truth around me reveal itself. A bit like the Matrix, which pill do you take? But really, the truth is love. It's that simple. We're just conditioned a certain way. We have beliefs and we're stripping back. It's like we're being reborn. And that's why for me it's important that we have this community that you can reach out whenever you need, and you can always get support from me. If you need one-on-one time, that's okay. Like, I'm here, I get it. I have been through stuff and I will continue to go through stuff, and this is the journey for all of us. Okay, next, religious beliefs. All right, that's a good one, right? Religious beliefs, will this affect it? Everything is one. I am not teaching anything about religion here. All I am sharing with you are practices to come back to your heart, to yourself. This is not about getting you to worship anything or nothing. It's just to be. That is it. That's simple. And okay, finally, one of the last questions, will this be good for my physical health? Okay, you can answer that one. Of course. Doing meditation helps to relax the body, helps to move us into the parasympathetic nervous system, which reduces the heart rate, the breathing rate, helps with the digestion, helps us to heal. So yes, I 100% believe that this will support good health in the body and the mind. I don't see any separation. Oh, we got a little kick there. She's happy, I did it right. Okay, so how do we do this then? Let's do this. Number one, your space, your sacred space. You don't need to be in a temple. Your temple is here. No, you do not need to have somewhere special. I would just say, make it special through the mind, for one. So find a place where you won't be disturbed. It might be that your house is so busy that you have to go out in nature. And it might be that you have to go out at a certain time to find that peace. Whatever it is, just for 30 days, find the space. Wherever feels good for you, where you won't be disturbed, where you feel safe is the most important thing. So going out at midnight into the forest, closing your eyes might not feel like the best thing. You might not feel safe. So we want to find somewhere that feels comfortable, is like home. And if you look around and it's not really the setting that you imagined, we've got our eyes closed anyway. You can create your temple inside. You can use your mind to visualize the most beautiful place if that's good for you, creating that safe space. And we have a safe space meditation where you can create it all in your mind. The body doesn't know any different, so you're there living it. Or you could pretend that you're sat here with me on the beach. All right, number two, time of day. All right, if you're like me, I like to get up very early. I like to see the sunrise. And that is when I do my meditation practice because it's comfortable for me. My mind isn't so busy. I do my yoga. It's easy for me to tune in. Whereas if you're my sister, maybe she wants to do it at a different time because she's asleep at sunrise. She finds a time where her mind is a little bit more relaxed, where she can drop into it. As you go along, it might be that you notice there's so many little ants here. You might notice that middle of the day, your mind gets super busy. So you would just take the time to do a little meditation practice there, to come back to your body. Doing these ones that I'm going to share with you each day, do it at a time where you have peace in your body, peace in your mind, the easiest time for you. Then we can go on and challenge ourselves later on if we want to. Challenge, the word came up again. Or just to know that even doing this, it doesn't mean it's the only time that you do your meditation practice. You can stop and breathe at any time. If you feel things coming up, sit 5 breaths, or as long as you need, and then go on with your day. Okay, eating. Try not to have a full belly like mine when you go into your meditation, because that was a joke, by the way, but if you've just eaten, your digestive system is going to be working, and it takes all the energy there. So we want to be able to relax the body is most optimal state so that we can let go of the mind. So having a light meal an hour before is okay, but your main meal maybe 2 or 3 hours before, depending how fast your digestive system is. Avoiding stimulants, caffeine, alcohol, smoking, drugs. I mean, they can all be used as a practice. If you have heard of Tantra yoga, they use everything around them to be able to go beyond them. But for now, for this 30 days, let's make it nice and easy for ourselves. Is there anything else? Also notice how food affects you. How having some sugar or having some crisps or then having a salad, notice how they affect your body and affect your mind. This is a really good one. Number 4, position. We spoke about that before. Be comfortable is key. Number 5, what do you do when a thought arises? When you're doing your meditation and you're trying to be a very good student and a thought comes up. Well, first of all, I said this before as well. See it as a tool to wake up. A thought comes, okay, I'm thinking, I'm coming back to this practice. It's only this long, I'm coming back. And if it gets too much, you can have your notepad in front of you and just write it down and then come back. If it's that important, it's still gonna be there and you can deal with it afterwards. But it's very interesting to see how we can get carried along with our thoughts. So interesting, and they're so good. At first they're kind of boring, like maybe they'll be like, oh, you need to empty the dishwasher, and you're like, okay, I'll do that after. But then they can get really creative and they'll be saying, hey, how about we do this idea in this project, or wouldn't this be nice if we did this for ourselves? And you're like, yeah, that'd be great, so much more interesting than this meditation. So notice that, you can be really sneaky, but you're gonna make them your friend, so that's nice. What else? The sixth one, I don't know if I just jumped some numbers, but is to reflect. Reflect on your practice afterwards. Have a diary especially for this. Maybe you're writing it up, or maybe you're just talking in the group like I mentioned before. But reflect. How did it make you feel? So that in a few weeks' time you can look back, and especially at the end of the month, and you can really see the differences that have come from doing your practice. And finally, trust your journey. Let go of expectations. Let go of the need to create anything right now or do anything. Just see what happens. See what unfolds from this. And there is no right or wrong way to experience this. But just doing this for yourself is the most incredible gift that you will ever give yourself. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I'm really excited to go on this journey with you. Remember, stay in touch in the group, in the Reconnect group. Share anything that comes up with you. And if you need support, then please reach out to me. I am here and available and really wanting to support you on your journey with this. Thank you so much. Namaste. And if you've been wondering what Namaste means all this time, it's basically saying the divine in me, my light, my truth, bows down to the light in you and your truth, because it's the same. We're just reminding each other. Okay, goodbye.